The NHL 26 reveal trailer has finally been released, and in this video, I'm going to go through the trailer frame by frame and go over anything that you might have missed. Let's get our first look at NHL 26.
You make things messy. Color outside the lines a bit, you know? Call it self-expression. Your signature mark on the game. That's what defines the greats. An X factor.
Now, the first 30 seconds of the trailer is really just showing off the cover athletes for NHL 26 with a fancy montage of Matthew Tkachuk as well as his brother Brady and Keith Tkachuk, their dad, who are all on the limited edition cover for NHL 26. However, pretty basic stuff.
It's a quickness no one can catch. A power no one can take. Edge work that overwhelms. It's all part of the unique palette.
However, that is when we get to our first new feature of NHL 26 with the new IceQ 2.0. Now, this is powered by the NHL Edge positional data, which is essentially the player and puck tracking that the real NHL uses, which is going to allow them to use real-world data to influence attributes and player tendencies. So as you can see, they highlight Connor McDavid's skating speed, Alex Ovechkin's shot power, as well as Quinn Hughes' top-end speed, which will hopefully allow them to utilize that data for more realistic and accurate player attributes in NHL 26.
You need to make your presence known. Skill, speed, smarts, unrelenting will.
Next, we get a shot of Connor Hellebuck making a new desperation save, utilizing the new goalie crease control system. This is supposed to make goaltenders more responsive, with smarter positioning and quicker, more natural saves. So hopefully eliminating kind of the jarring animations that we've seen over the last few years. However, we'll need to actually wait to see how goalies play, because they've always been a concern in the NHL video game.
A motivation and inspiration that stretches back generations.
And then finally, after 5 years, we get a glimpse at an updated Be A Pro.
And fuels the fire of the next great. This is your story. Can you see it?
All right, so let's unpack what it shows off. Number one, we actually get an updated cinematic for a player pregame with the Utah Mammoth. We also get an updated draft ceremony, showing off our player walking up on stage, highlighted with the big screen, the team that he's selected to. And then we get a glimpse of our players in the World Juniors representing Team USA, as well as winning the Memorial Cup with the London Knights, meaning that there is going to be some CHL component. And then the final clip of this sequence shows off a one-handed backhand, a new shot and animation that we haven't had in NHL.
Superstar impact. Looks good, huh?
Now, following that, we get our first look at Mitch Marner in a Vegas Golden Knight jersey, as well as Sidney Crosby scoring on the backhand. These look to be a part of the expanded X Factor abilities that are supposed to have unique playstyle animations. So it does look like we are getting a fresh update to the X Factor abilities in NHL 26.
Show out and show the world who you are.
This looks to be like a new shot block animation. I don't remember our players ever making like a kick save.
Tell him, check my game.
Now, some other things that they did not mention directly in the reveal trailer, specifically when it comes to Hockey Ultimate Team, this is from the press release. The new HUT seasons will give players an all-new dynamic way to compete by introducing new team-building mechanics, ranked matches, and an offline mode geared for those who prefer to play at their own pace, the HUT Cup Chase. We also have new heroes and icon player cards added each season to celebrate the greatest to ever lace up their skates. So it does look like they are bringing back seasons, so I would anticipate more XP paths and things that we got in NHL 25. My only hope here is that the heroes and icon player cards have a much improved cost versus reward than they did in NHL 25, which is one of the biggest things I think for the hardcore HUT player base. We need to see how these icons, and if they go with upgradable cards, how they're going to operate and what we can expect from those cards. And then we are shown the pre-order bonuses, with the deluxe edition receiving up to 7 days of early access, including a new Matthew Tkachuk card at 99 overall as an immediate reward in NHL 25. This is not going to be a 99 overall card at launch of NHL 26. You'll also receive 4,600 NHL points, which is roughly a $40 value, a HUT starter choice pack with an 83 overall player in it, as well as an NHL player pack, and then a HUT icon choice pack, which is one of 6 85 to 86 overall icons, and a HUT heroes choice pack, which is a one of 6 83 to 84 overall HUT hero. Interesting that they're not labeled as X Factors, so no confirmation that X Factor player cards are back in the game. And then for the World of Chell players, you've also got a World of Chell vanity set and an XP bonus. For anyone that completed those head start objectives in NHL 25 about a month ago, those aren't mentioned here. They're not a pre-order bonus, but you will receive them if you completed that in NHL 25. And our last big piece of news, the release date for NHL 26 is Friday, September 12th, with a worldwide release, and the early access trial for pre-ordering the deluxe edition of the game kicking off on Friday, September 5th, marking the earliest release for an NHL video game in over a decade. So when it comes to my reactions to the reveal trailer, obviously there is not a ton to unpack here. The biggest piece of news is the fact that we are getting a Revamp Be a Pro for the first time since NHL 21. RIP the pricey game of pond hockey. However, when we look at the IceQ 2.0, that's essentially just a fancy name for them utilizing the new NHL Edge data so they can track player speeds and shots, all of the stuff that is utilized by the jersey tracking they have in the real NHL. But the reason why I think this will be more important in the years to come is because this will hopefully allow them to streamline attributes and make big changes to the actual animation specific to certain players. My hope would be that we get custom shot styles as well as custom skating strides when this stuff is fully implemented. Now, I want to reference a video that was released by EA at the launch of NHL 24. Everyone remembers it as the Discord video, but in that video, Mike Engelhart, the creative director at EA NHL, mentioned something about multi-year strategy and development. And when he took over in NHL 23, you kind of saw that and what his method of developing the game looks like, where it's a 3-year section of developing things in the hopes that after that 3-year bucket, you've got something fully fleshed out and then you can move on to the next thing. So a perfect example would be the full pressure system or the goalie fatigue system. Not that those are all universally loved or enjoyed, but if you go back to the beginning of NHL 24, they're obviously much more cleaned up. So I'm hoping that the IceQ 2.0 leads to a big change in attributes and animations, and again, that streamlines the process and allows them to actually put that stuff in the game by basically using AI. Now, when it comes to X Factors, it does look like we are getting an overhaul with 28 X Factor abilities in NHL 26 that have all been fine-tuned. Now, regardless of your opinion on X Factors and if you enjoy them or not, a lot of them have become either completely useless or really stale when it comes to gameplay. So if they're going to keep X Factors in the game, doing a revamp of the abilities in the actual game is a welcome change, especially in Hockey Ultimate Team when we essentially only saw 10 abilities used all year on every card. Now, there's a lot more to talk about when it comes to Be a Pro, Hockey Ultimate Team, and all of the stuff in that. It didn't get a lot of love in the reveal trailer, but we'll get far more news about that and the things that we can talk about in the coming weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for the most up-to-date news, tips, and info for NHL 26. I'll see you guys next time.